Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. This is Toyin Umesiri. How are you today? If you're online, please do say hello. Just drop a comment and just say hello and let me know where you're joining from. So today's own, I'm going to be quite brief. So basically, today I wanted to talk about passion. You know, a lot of times people talk about, find your passion, follow your passion. Yes, you should find something you're passionate about. But what I have found, especially within the Christian space, at least the way I interpret my dedication and following principles from the Bible, is that oftentimes what I have to do is find passion for the things I believe um, God wants me to do. Because I'll be honest with you, if you go with the idea of, oh, follow your passion, you're not going to follow what God wants you to do most of the time. Hello, I see David from Nigeria. Wow, I'm sure it's like, is it 10 p.m., 9, 10 p.m.? Um, Hi, how are you? Thank you for joining. IT News. I suspect you're a journalist. What's your name? Your handle says IT News. So thank you for joining. So today I'm talking about passion for purpose. How do you find passion for the purpose you have? And this is under the 360 degree woman ministry in terms of sharing biblical principles for life, for godliness. Patrick from Accra. Hey, thank you for joining. Samson from Nigeria. Wow. Yesterday from Owinga Mills, Baltimore. Thank you for joining. This is so dope because I usually do this 9 a.m. in the morning on a Saturday. And this Saturday, I was like, no, I'm not getting out of bed. Not today. And then I basically was about to go out and I said, you know what? Just do something. Just share what's on your heart today. It's almost 10. Samson. Yes, I'm right. So today's topic, you guys have made me excited. Okay, let's do this. Today's topic is about passion for purpose. Have you ever heard where people say, follow your passion, follow whatever, find what you'll be passionate about? But for me, what I've found is that what is even more important is when you know you need to do something, when you know God has called you to do something, oftentimes at the beginning, honestly, most of those things are very painful. You're either walking away from something you really love or walking into a space that you have no knowledge for. Like, so at the beginning, it wouldn't feel natural. It's not going to feel enjoyable because that phrase where people say, oh, follow your passion, is almost like go and find joy, which is fantastic. Like, go find joy, do the job that you like, follow your career, that's good. But I'm telling you today, many times, what God is calling you to do at the beginning, it usually doesn't make sense. And at that point, you're literally being dragged. Like, just think about it. Look at Gideon, look at Moses, look at David, like Sam, just look at Paul. Like, when we look at the Bible, the way it is, not the way people are interpreting it to be, but the way it is exactly. Tell me, Abraham, following passion, was it was it what he did? No. So it becomes very, and in my own personal life too, I'll share a few things where, you know, it's even because we have to change how we think about I think a lot of times we're interpreting scriptures the way we want it to be, not the way it is. Right? Even things as base, not basic, but as important as, okay, who do you marry? Oh, I love. But do you know that oftentimes, if you seek the face of God and you know how flawed we are as humans, you will start realizing that you almost have to surrender sometimes your own will, your own way to God, knowing that God knows what's best for you. And that's what I mean by finding passion for purpose, is that purpose may come to you and they may wear a different skin. that doesn't look like passion at the beginning, but out of obedience. You need to summon up your own passion, right? You need to summon up your own way of saying, if this is God, then I'm going to commit myself. It also has to do with commitment. And then your commitment will help you to enjoy what it is God is asking you to do. Because today, just everybody look at COVID, what's going on right now. The demands of the day, you will realize that the responsibility of this moment, of this time in this world, the responsibility of as parents, as spouses, as this, they're very heavy. They're heavy, but it doesn't mean that we should now run away and not commit. No, we have to find joy. We have to say, okay, if this is my responsibility, if this is something I know is the right thing to do, if this is what I'm committed to do, how do I design it in such a way that I commit to it and I become passionate about it in obeying God? For those that are parents, right? It's like when you ask your kids, do this, do that. You was like, you were like, when they do one, you be like, because I'm asking you to do this, you are doing. No, don't give me that face. That's what I'm saying. Don't give God that face. Don't give God that. Like, find way of talking to God and saying, okay, if it is you, I will do it with all of my heart. I will find ways to enjoy this work. I'll do it with full commitment. And like I was saying, it's even things as important as spouse. A lot of people miss it because they follow, their mind and how they feel, which is good. I mean, you have to have the right heart, right? But I'm just saying there's a place where a lot of people may know the will of God, but if that will of God doesn't look the way they want it to look, they will rather sabotage themselves with their own physical understanding and go the opposite direction. That's what I'm saying you need to start avoiding. It starts right there, where people are making decisions. Like, we are flawed. Like, do you know what's going to happen tomorrow? No. Like, the decisions we are making today is going to impact tomorrow. But yet, we have no capacity to really determine what tomorrow or next tomorrow looks like, or what next year looks like. So why are we playing smart? you know Samson, Felipe said hello, Toyin. Hi, Felipe from Mexico. It's such a pleasure to see you. Felipe and I used to work together at Walpole several years ago. Thank you for joining. Hola, ¿cómo estás? Oh, okay. Patrick said it's almost 9 p.m. in Accra. Yes, it's 2:44 here in Chicago. So thank you for joining. I just wanted to make this video, and then usually the recording is pushed to our YouTube. So subscribe to our YouTube, share it with your sisters, spouses, let it fly. This is good information. Okay, so anyway, so it's I mean, those are things we now need to start looking at. How do we manage this world that has been disrupted? Because everybody has been shifted off their comfortable seats. And one way of winning and being passionate still, because a lot of people are like, there's nothing to be passionate about now with lockdown, with this, with that. But I'm telling you, if you know that you are in the will of God, if you trust God, and you know you are in the palm of his hands, then you're going to rest. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but you're going to go about life differently. You're going to have hope that tomorrow is better than today, because people are hopeless because there's nothing they can hold on to. But I'm saying your anchor as a believer is in God, and finding passion for today is important. Because I'm telling you, if you cannot summon up the joy to be thankful, to see today and say, I'm thankful for this, then the wind will blow you away. Because the wind out there and everything you're reading on the news, when you look at the TV, everywhere in the world, not just Africa, everywhere in the world. Like last week, they just closed down schools. UK, I called my sister in the UK, it's like lockdown. I'm telling you, There's everyone is tired. Everyone is like overwhelmed, tired. But I tell you, if there's a way you can build a routine and just find still find passion for even living in this moment. I mean, those are the things that help me. Like even doing this, it's my way of I trust, I believe. Still, you have to believe still, and you have to be alive. Like you cannot let things just where you have to believe. That's what sets us apart. Because in today, when things are so like the way it is, this is when when great darkness surrounds the earth. That's when the light of God can shine. That's really when we can show who we are. That's when we can say we believe, we trust, we hope, we have faith. And that's why passion for what God has called you to do is important. Otherwise, we'll be making bad decisions. Even this is important when it comes to our roles and responsibility as like moms, right? You got to cook, you have to clean, I'm telling you, those things on the surface, they are chores. They are real, they are work. There's work. But if there's a way, if you know you're going to do it and you have to do it, and then you train yourself to say, I'm going to do it really well. In fact, I'm going to do it better than average. Then all of a sudden, you're going to see things better. You're not going to feel the pressure too much. You're going to say, okay, let me factor this into my responsibilities. Let me come up with a calendar that makes it more structured. Let me get the kids involved in this. Then you embrace your responsibility more. But the moment you start saying, you start, you know, feeling down, which I understand, then you've already defeated yourself. I guess that's what I'm trying to say is key decisions in life would require us to say yes first. Say yes to God first. Even if He's telling you to do something difficult, say yes and then go find your passion and then commit to it. And then on the journey, you find passion for it. But if all you're doing, if 100% what you're doing is you're finding something that is fun, you're trying to find something that, then you might be living out things that God wants you to do. Okay. Patrick said, what's the name of the YouTube channel? So I have a few. The one for this is the 360 Woman Ministry. And then for my day job, it's Nazaru, Nazaru. And Nazaru has a ton of content and information for anyone that is looking to learn around trade, international trade, investment, trade with Africa, all of those things. But for this particular segment, it's the 360 Woman Ministry. And there are a few videos. I'm trying to build that up as well, as often as possible. So yes, what do you guys think? Am I missing this? Like, how do you find passion for purpose? And again, I have so many stories. There are stories of me moving. I've moved so many times, and most of the times when I move, they're usually around family decisions. I mean, I've done it. I've done it enough times. Even now, moving to Chicago, it's basically okay. My husband changed jobs. I'm like, okay, wherever you're going, I'm going. Like, I mean, I've done it so many times that, I mean, now I can just. I'm like, I'm not even thinking about it anymore. When we were in Ohio several years ago as well, he accepted an opportunity in Arkansas. At that time, I was working for Whirlpool, and you're working for, I mean, great, fantastic job and all of that, but I've always had to put those things on the line for the sake of family. Most women don't want to do it, right? I'm super ambitious. I mean, I'm a professional, I'm a leader, I do all kinds of things, so nobody can question like in terms of how ambitious I am. I am super ambitious, but there's always room to make sure you understand what your priorities are. And I've gone through scenarios in the workplace that makes me understand that you can be replaced like that in the workplace, but your family, you cannot be replaced. Okay. So a lot of times, a lot of women, you say, lean in. Yeah, yeah, lean in. But open your eyes. Open your eyes. If you lean in and fall into the ditch, Nobody will come to your rescue. I think that's the mistake women make. Oh yes, go, be going, but make sure your blind your light is white. You like like they say, shine your eyes. Like, don't go blindly. Don't say yes and do things that would disrupt your peace in your home, would disrupt your life, and you're weeping. Don't do it. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. You might have to make some temporary adjustments, temporary sacrifices. Yes. But I tell you, in the grand scheme of life, when you look back, you see those, they are not worth it. Peace is more important. Peace, and be able to sleep well with your loved ones surrounding you, kissing you, hugging you. I'm telling you, that's for real. I don't think a lot of women want to acknowledge that. I am super ambitious. I am. Check me out online. I am. But not at the expense of the things I care about. Hello from Spain, Jose. Nice to see you. Yeah, so what do you guys think? Because like I was saying, when we were going to move from Ohio, of course I'm part of the process. And then my husband went in for the interview and he loved the job and we prayed about and it felt right. I could say, okay, you go, I'll stay, because we had a house, right? We had a house, we were very comfortable and everything. But I was like, no, no, you are going. I am packing this up. I'm going. I'm not that person. And then we had to put our house up for rental for a year. Then we moved to Arkansas, stayed at a rental. We put our own house on as rental. But the interesting thing is that I think one of the most challenging things I also had to do was to go to my leadership at the office and say, hey, I don't know what to do. My husband is moving. I need to move. Is there a way you can work with me, do some type of transfer, or I may have to just eventually leave, or so. And and the truth is that most women cannot have those conversations. You can't have it if you don't know your value, right? In the workplace, if you don't know the value that you bring to your supervisor, one, if you don't have the right relationships with your leadership, two, if you don't have faith that, and if you're not ready to take the risk, because you could hear yes, you could hear no. You have to almost settle it. Like, if they tell me yes, great. If they tell me no, then I'm ready to pay the price. But you can only have those conversations if you know your value. And then if you have the right relationship. If you watch the last two videos I did? I talked about relationships, even in the workplace with supervisor and everything. It's part of the reasons. If you have fantastic relationship with your supervisor and you're doing great job, then you can have life impacting conversations. You can have it, and they will want you. They won't want you to go, because it's not like it. They will work with you, and that's what I've experienced. I'm telling you. And then my leader at that time, God bless his soul, it's passed on. Felipe actually knows this person, but yeah, he worked with me. They said yes. They said, don't worry, we'll allow you to transfer. You become a remote corporate staff. We know we have an office in Fort Smith, Arkansas. It's still going to be about 2 hours from where you are saying your address would be, but we'll work with you. We'll do this, we'll do that. They worked with me. That's not the first time, I've had to do that. I remember when I was also moving from Michigan to Ohio. It's the same story, but another supervisor. you know, because when I started that job, my husband was getting his PhD. And then when he finished his PhD, he got an opportunity. Oh, no, no, this was when he was doing his PhD or something like that. I'm telling you, life. People don't tell those stories. But at that time too, I went to that leader, Bernd Walker, who was in Germany. I was like, I'm in headquarters, but I need to get closer to family. And they were like, oh yeah, we have a factory in Findlay, Ohio. Okay, we'll see what we can do. Maybe we'll transfer you there. And then I looked at the map, Google Map. I was like, okay, if my husband is here in Toledo and the factory is here in Findlay, what is the middle place where we can, we can stay? And I found, a settlement. Like on Google Map, there were houses. I was like, okay, if you can see houses, then that means it's a major town. I picked the town. It was called Bowling Green, Ohio. I researched it. There's a university. It's a college town. It's nice. It's this. And I was like, okay, that's where we're going. That's how. So we started living in Bowling Green, Ohio. And then I would drive to my new office at the factory in Findlay, Ohio. I would drive 30 minutes south. My husband would drive 30 minutes north. I was fine. So I've done it so many times. But when I engage, I don't think a lot of people realize that you would be able to do fantastic job in your workplace if you're happy at home. Like, if you're stressed at home, you've made bad decisions that is making you frustrated at home. You cannot show up to the office and give yourself the best. You can't. You can't. I mean, am I missing something? So for me, stability in my natural domain is the first thing that is most important to me, because out of that space that you create in the home, that's how you then launch forward. Then you can then position yourself to win out there. But if you say your number one priority is to win out there and to lose in, please, let's check out. No, 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 it doesn't work that. And that's why I'm saying those decisions we have to make on the surface, they might look tough. They might not be find your passion. I love my job. I get it. And I've been there before. I remember when after graduate school, 2006, I had three offers on the table, three job offers. And those three job offers became an issue. There was one that I was like, this is perfect for my career. This I'm going to learn really fast. It's a small team, so you're going to learn so much. I'll be working for, that was Tessin Crop, the German elevator company in Danville, Illinois. That was a long time. I still remember. My husband was like, no. Okay, at that time we were dating. He was like, no, I'm going to do PhD. Da 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 da. This is where we should go. This one is closer to my. I was like, no, I don't want that. That one, it's federal mogul. Da, 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 da. No, it's automotive industry. At that time, automotive was. I said no, no, no. And then it was like, okay, this third one that nobody's struggling on. That's the third one we're going to pick, and that's what happened. And then because we picked that third one, eventually a year, 2 years after that, I still had to make another decision to move, because I made that compromise, but eventually a year, 2 years later, I still had to say, you know what, I've done my own thing, I've made the compromise, but this compromise is still not working for me, because then my husband will have to drive 3 hours back every weekend. He'll have to drive 3 hours back every weekend, and then Friday he drives 3 hours, Sundays he drives 3 hours back. And after doing that for a while, even me, I was the one that said, okay, okay, sorry, let me re-strategize. And that's when we had that first conversation of relocating back to Ohio and then moving into that Bowling Green. So that's these are real things, decisions people have to make. I've made so much of it. And what I have now learned, like, that's what I'm sharing, that oftentimes, we need to find passion. We need to be passionate about the right decision we're making, right? Because that passion doesn't just appear, in terms of the right decision doesn't always come with passion. The right decisions doesn't always come with passion. The right decisions or sometimes come cloaked in disappointments, pain, struggles, all of that. We need to acknowledge it. But if you know in your heart that you're being shifted, then how quickly can you get your passion for what God is calling you to do? So that's really what I wanted to share today. Where we're living in, or very interesting times. It doesn't look right. Out there doesn't look right. But I tell you, there is still a way we can be passionate about whatever it is God is calling us to do this moment. He is present, He is speaking, He is alive in you, in me. He's calling us, He's engaging. But do we listen? And just listen really hard, because what He might be telling you to do would require you to roll up your sleeves and get to work. But if you drag your feet and say, wow, and whine and complain, you might shut off that sweet small voice and you'll be going in the wrong direction. So that's one thing I'm, just encouraging people to just in this moment, right now, this moment in time, let's let's listen, let's obey, even if it doesn't look like what we are saying it should be. And that's what I had for today. That's what I wanted to talk about in terms of find passion for your purpose, for the direction you believe God is taking you. Because I believe a lot of people are being disrupted, things are changing, industries are changing, jobs are being shifted. And for some, you might have felt years ago where God was saying, leave, 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 and you didn't leave. Resign, 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 you didn't resign. Go to school, you didn't go. Take this lesson, you didn't. Like for years, God could have been telling you, do this, you didn't, in a gentle way, you didn't obey. Now, the decision was made for you. Now you have to do this. Right. So for me, it's still the story of even me leaving corporate 3 years ago. But because I left, yes, I made my own sacrifices. But today, in this moment, what I have built with God's help, I have great joy for it. Even though it's painful, it's real hard work, it's sleepless nights, it's pushing, 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 pushing relentlessly. But today, I feel like I can't even imagine what things would look like if I never said yes, if I were still where I was before. There will be no peace because everybody will be like, you'll be waking up every day and saying you don't know if your employer is going to make that call. So for me, I'm so thankful that I said yes. But again, saying yes doesn't mean you're going to go the easy route. It just says you're going to roll up your sleeve, right? And you're going to say, yes, God, I say yes to you. Let's do this. I'm going to commit to it. I'm going to give it my all. I'm going to show up every day. I'm going to be passionate for what God is telling me to do. I want to honor Him with my work, with my decisions. And that's it. That even today, people don't even realize what I used to do before. That's the story of even 360 woman. Me showing up now is saying, okay, if we're going to do this, God, then we're going to go all the way. I'm going to commit to it as best as I can. I'm going to show up. I'm going to be there and do it the best I can. That's what we can offer God. And that's passion. Commitment is passion. Showing up daily to what God has called us to do is passion. Some might say, oh, go and find what you're. No, when God tells you to do something, that's what you should be passionate about. That is what you should be. I don't know if I tried, I've tried to explain it. Miss Bukola, thank you for joining. I've tried to explain it as best as I can, but I just pray that you grasp this, that you grasp that what God is calling you to do, or what God might be asking you to do, or what sacrifices God might be asking you to make in this moment, that you have to say yes, you have to commit to it, and you have to be passionate for it. Because that force, that passion, that force is what's going to open the channels of opportunities for you. But if you whine, it's just like kids again. If you ask your kids to get me water, and even if you wanted to give them something after, you'll be like, should I even give you? Yeah, like your response to my direction, it was disappointing. That's what I'm saying. We shouldn't let God say. Like when God says, show up, it's like the military. You say, yes, sir. You know, if God says jump, you say, how high? If God says be quiet, you say, mm. If He says speak up, you speak. That's what I mean. Is that, we almost have to surrender our own will. Not even almost. It's important to acknowledge that we know in parts, we prophesy in parts, we see in parts. When we see Him, then we will understand, the landscape. But for now, we have limited capacity to fully understand what's going on around us. The other day, my kids was like, Mommy, COVID, why? I say, shit. Can I answer that? Can I answer that question? Really? That was, he said, it's only God knows. But the best we can do, the only thing we can do is to make the best out of it. Can you answer that question? Why COVID? I can't. It's beyond me. It's beyond my paycheck. But that's what I'm trying to say. Is like, we may not understand. We don't have to, because sometimes we think we are smart. We are not. We are not that smart. Can you tell me what's going to happen 8 a.m. tomorrow morning? No. So, but we can say, okay, like I told my husband, I said, okay, I think for the next 4 months, if this is what's going to this scenario where all the kids are back, this one, okay, let me restructure okay, let me redesign my calendar. So that's what I'm working on now. Okay, what am I going to do? Mondays, Tuesday, this. I'm reorganizing now, because everything again, we thought it was stabilizing. So after summer, I reshaped, I readjusted things. Okay, we got stable, and then boom again. Last 2 weeks, it's like another ruffle. I'm like, okay, okay, I get it. World, I don't get you, but things have shifted again. So now I'm going back to the drawing board. Okay, I'm filling up my calendar. Okay, I'm saying, okay, God, help me. Okay, what can I do? Who is doing what? What is the shopping day? What is the this? What is the this? With my work, with kids. I'm reorganizing things. And that's what I mean. When things happen, just take it as it is. And then say, okay, 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 I get you. No, there's no need to be upset. Let's just figure this out. We got help. That's what I mean by commitment, showing up to purpose, showing up with passion, and then redesign. We'll redesign for the next 3, 4 months, and then we'll see if the world shows us as another color. Hey, 2021, I say, sure, okay. I just pray. I'm praying the same prayer. Like 2021, please calm down. Like, please don't show us, who you are. Like, ah, 2020 was something, right? It's like you'll be like, oh no, you'll be like, no, no. Wow, what a year. What a year. But I tell you, come alive. You can still come alive. Don't let it get to your head. Come at it with rigor, with passion, with God. Just have this trust that God sees it all, God knows it all, and we can find ways of making the best of it. Like this week is Thanksgiving, this coming week is Thanksgiving. Like we have so much to be thankful for. Forget what's going on and the news. No, as long as you're watching me, or hmm, let's thank God, oh. Let's be thankful. Let's be thankful. Let's cook that food, even if it's over Zoom. Make the best of it. Call your family. Show them. Do family Zoom dinner. You cook. What did you cook? Make the best of it. Make the best of it. That's all we have. Oftentimes people, I was making my daughter's hair, and this thought just dropped in my heart. A lot of times people are saying, oh, I want that kind of hair. No, no. Whatever God has given you, whether it's 5 talents, 2 talents, one, use it. God is a just God. Whatever he has given you, he's not going to be judging you based on what he didn't give you. The opportunities before you, the talent he has given you, the family he put you in, everything surrounded you to. Those are the things he's saying, put them to work. Put those things to work. Show up in your home, show up for your friends, show up for your family, show up for your co-workers, show up for your leaders in the office. A lot of times it's like, what can the leader do for me? No, I'm telling you, if you serve your leadership, look at the other day I was talking about Biden Obama. Biden served Obama with all his heart. And when it was time, Obama showed up for him. Because that's the seed you sow in relationship, you will reap it. But if you serve this way, half in, half out, one leg in, one leg in, you will get one leg in, one leg out type of response from your workplace. So that's what I mean by passion for purpose. Everywhere I show up, you can go and interview my leaders, my supervisor, my managers for the last. Go anybody I've ever worked with. Felipe is here. The last time I worked with him is probably 14. How many years? I can't remember that we worked together. Felipe, we are still connected, and I still honor him because you show up to your workplace as you are, with passion, with purpose, and you serve. If God has put you in a place to serve people, serve them with all your heart. Serve your leader with all your heart. Show up for your co-workers. Wherever you are, this thing is important. because it's an attitude. It's not about the people per se. Yes, they may not be the, but show up. Give it your best. That's all I'm saying. Give it your best. Wherever you are right now, give it your all. Give it your best. You cannot control what other people do with your best, right? The other day I was joking with my husband. I was like, yeah, that's what I'm doing. Give it your best. Give it your best. Give it your best. That's passion. Don't, even God says, are you hot? Are you cold? I want to know. If you are lukewarm, I'll spit you out because nobody can do much with lukewarm. So don't be lukewarm on your job. Don't be lukewarm with your spouse. No matter how you've been hurt or you've hurt, or try, find healing quickly and be passionate. Find your passion back, even if it doesn't look right now. That's what I'm saying. Commitment is the channel that passion flows through. You cannot be passionate where you're not committed, right? So if you need to recommit yourself to relationships that I mean, that's why when you talk about marriage, I do, but then it's commitment. So if you said I do, the days you're happy, the days you're not, you'll be like, I'm not happy anymore. I'm not, this person's not. That's what causes real issues. It's when you say, okay, I've lost passion. It's like you've lost commitment. You've decided, you know what? I don't want to commit to this thing anymore. Like I'm done. I'm checking out. That's really, that's what it's divorce and all of that's what it is. It's like, you know what? I've tried, I'm done. But if you can still hold on to commitment and pray, then God can give you your passion back. Anyway, I'm going to stop right there because we're almost going into another topic, which I'm not prepared for today. But thank you for those who joined today. But this video will be made available on our YouTube page. We also have an actual private a community where you can connect with other women and other people from around the world. We're putting videos, content. I'm going to be doing book review and all of that, like Christian books reviews on that community. It's the www.the360woman.org. One thing I'm also working on is a Bible study. We have I'm going to be working with like a not for profit, which I've worked with them before, that they have work studies. So I'm working that through that. Once I figure it out, maybe we'll launch it January 2021. God helping us. So look out for that. And thank you again for everybody that was able to join. I really do appreciate that. I so much appreciate that. Thank you and God bless. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. And now I'm going to go out. I was going to go out before, so I'm going to do that now. God bless you. Bye.